This show is sponsored by Keystone Technologies. Go to KEYSTONETECH.com. Greg, KeystoneTech.com. So, what's happening, Greggy?
Hey, not much. Another day here, getting after it. How about you?
You know, I think it's a couple years before any of this connectivity stuff trickles down to the trenches, dude, in the real life of lighting.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. I think it's getting to be more and more popular. And in my case, I actually had a customer come into my office today to see this fancy ass system I installed, and I've sold 2 of in the last year, where you can control your lighting from an app, basically. Put it on your phone or your computer or things like that. And where I have seen, maybe start where I've seen success is, one, if you're a lighting distributor trying to sell it, put it in your office, then you can sell it.
Good start.
2 is the other place I've had success is at a hockey rink, where they want different levels of light and they want to control it, and they want to easily control it from an app. Makes sense. If you have money in your hockey rink, that makes sense. After that, it's tough to do. I mean, again, we talked about the different levels of connectivity, though, and I think that's important, because whenever I hear connected right now, I'm thinking high end. Like, everything's got to be top notch if it's connected. But that's not necessarily the case, and I think that's some of what we talked about. You have wired options, you have wireless. You know, there are lower cost options to make your lighting connected.
Yeah, you know, for example, I had a client of mine that just was in there. I was talking to him. He's got a dog's breakfast. You know, the building's 50 years old. Every room was made differently. He's got a whole whack of different a dog's breakfast. You know, you mix everything into the bowl.
Is that Canadian?
Maybe. Okay. You take the eggs, the sauce, the meat from last night, you throw it in with a kibble, and you mix it around. It's a dog's breakfast. You never heard that before? Wake up, man.
I like it. I'm here. Get a grip.
It's a dog's breakfast. So anyway, you're in there, and he's like, yeah, I want to be able to dim the fixtures and this and that. And it's like, you know, I got to pull another wire down for that 0 to 10 volt. How am I going to do that? And this kind of stuff. And I'm sort of thinking the thing through out loud in my head. And you get into wireless, and you're thinking, wireless feels a little Mickey Mouse to me, you know, in the long run. I mean, wireless for the long run. I mean, how many times does your wireless router break in your office? It happens to us, you know, once every year, 2 years. You got to go figure out what's wrong with the router because the Wi-Fi doesn't work. But what if that, you know, now you're turning off lights because routers don't work and stuff? I don't know, dude. I don't know about the wireless solution. I tried to deploy a bunch of years ago in hallways, some of the wireless solutions that were out there for aux sensors. And it was always like a feeling of, you know, I want to tie that wire nut, you know what I mean? On that to really get it right. And I don't know, I just don't see massive deployment. Like, what this industry has seen in the LED upgrade side is massive deployment of this technology. Why does that happen? It happens when you have 80% efficiency. It's obvious. Hey, this is 19 watt, that's 100 watt. What are you going to do, right? Change it. Along with a promise of never going to burn out. When it comes to the controls, what's the business case?
You know, that's what we talked some about. I think energy savings is one. I know there's some question about that. But again, my opinion on it is it's peace of mind and flexibility. You know, you want to manage your time. All you have at the end of the day is time. Money, all that matters, sure, but time is what matters. You can't change that. So you want to control that and make it your time as efficient as possible. Mm-hmm. And to have some sort of connected lighting, if you're responsible for that system, that saves you time. It can save you time if it's done right. And that's where I think the real selling point is.
Is yours done right in your office?
Enough, but I don't use it. I mean, I think it's just something where you have the capability to do that and to see the lighting.
Is it easy? Is it easy, Greg, to use?
If you have the website, yeah.
Do you have the app on your phone?
Not yet.
No.
Got to do that.
Do you have the app on your computer? Because I'd like you to tune the lights in your office right now on the Light Ted online video show for us, Greg.
It's on my computer,
yeah,
but
find
it's not
it there,
in.
buddy.
Okay, as we're talking, we'll get this thing rolling.
But that's what I mean. I mean, you're a lighting dork, and you don't even use it.
I use it to sell it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And then what are the people that you sold it to going to use it for? Oh yeah, I want 3,000 K in the morning, and then we're gonna do it slowly during the day. It's going to change to 4,000, just like the sun.
There you go.
The sun crosses the sky. Woo! There we go, swanky. All you Lights Out Online video listeners, out there, watchers, YouTube viewers.
Yeah.
He's changing the color temperature in his office lighting. Why?
It only took me 2 minutes to get to it.
To impress the host of the show. I mean, I don't know, dude. I just see a lot of sizzle and no steak here, bud.
That was a good line. I like that. Yeah, and I think that's what it is right now. But people like sizzle. People buy sizzle sometimes, don't they?
Sometimes, not with light bulbs. I mean, sometimes.
Does it always have the sizzle? Always have to be definable? Do you always need to have a measurable result? Can you ever just say, "I like it because it's cool. I want it because it's cool"?
Sure, absolutely, but not with light bulbs. Yeah, with a car.
Why not?
Like there's certain types of technologies that are just so good at being that. Okay, let me ask you this: what you're talking about, I like it because it's cool. Okay, yes. Okay, so what you're talking about is where can I spend my money to buy status? That's what you're talking about, right? So if you're a 19-year-old kid and you get the latest iPhone, ooh, all your friends are like, wow, you're so cool. You got the latest iPhone X. It's not even a number anymore, man. It's a letter now, brah. You got the latest one, man. You're the coolest kid in school. When you get to be our age, it's the Corvette convertible or the Ferrari or the old 1960s MG, whatever floats your boat, and you buy status. You make a splash. You go buy a Tesla. Because you think about a car, dude. You want to be seen in a car. Right? You want to be seen in a car. That's what cars are about. It's kind of like clothing. You wear your clothes. You want to be seen. I gotta, get out of your car. There's my car. Boop, boop. Ooh, yeah. Right? That's what it is, dude. Oh,
sure,
your light bulbs. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I can control my light bulbs from my phone, bro. Look at my status just went up 10 points. It's like, what are you talking about?
Sure.
It's like, it's crazy, dude. So there's no sizzle there. I'm sorry, lighting industry. Okay. No sizzle.
Unless you're a facility manager or you're responsible for the lighting system, there might be sizzle.
Yeah, maybe.
Because at your work, you can chill people.
There's nothing better, I'll tell you this. There's nothing that gives the perception of energy efficiency like a well-commissioned lighting control system. That all hand. When you do a good lighting control system in a factory with rack aisles and warehouse and the lights are off and you go down the rack and lights come on, and I think there's a perception there of efficiency. And also the efficiency as well. I don't know if mass adoption is in the offing, Greg.
So you don't think that's what my question was going to be to you? Is you think at some point everything will be a connected lighting system?
Yes,
you're going to say no right here on the show. You do.
No, I agree. I think it will be for sure. But I think what people have wrong is they're forgetting at who is the customer, right? So who wants the data? Who needs the data? The customer. The lighting fixture is not. It's going to be a conduit for data in the matrix, my man. And the reality is not going to be, when you know this is real, is when Amazon has decided to change all the street lights in Phoenix for free. But they get to own the data. That's going to be when you know this shit has arrived. It's one of those situations where, 5 years ago, I mean, I've had this conversation with you. I tricked you, I think 5 or 6 years ago, and I trick other people and I say, who's Facebook's customer? Who's Google's customer? I'm Facebook's customer. I have a Facebook account. No, you're the product. You're what Facebook sells. You're what Google sells. They sell you. They sell your eyeballs. You're the product of Google. You're not the customer. If you use that service, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Google, all these things, you are not a customer of Google unless you're buying AdWords, right? So who is the customer? The customer, for me, if data is really the play, then the customer is not the facility manager. The customer is Big Brother. It's, unfriendly nation states, people, whatever. There's going to be some other customer out there that's going to step up and say, Yeah, Amazon is deploying its latest Amazon Home software. They're calling it Amazon Surveillance. And it's going into Phoenix right now. And now Amazon's going to know everywhere you go and everything you do. Where you are, where you're at. It's going to have facial recognition software, gait recognition software, everything in it. It's going to be able to hear, listen, see, speak. And the all-knowing, all-wizard of the world, Jeff Bezos, is going to control you. It's going to be something like that. That's the customer. The customer is not the facility manager that wants to have 50% of the lights off when it's novice hockey as opposed to the local team playing against the other neighboring town. And he wants the full lights on.
Sure.
I don't know, dude.
So you feel they'll all be connected, but the point of it will be to obtain data. And
the customer won't be the person that's walking under the light. They'll be the product.
That's intense. Let's revisit this in 30 years and see how it's looking, huh?
Yeah, and then we won't even have to record. They'll just read our minds. Because you know what else you know what else is a connectivity device, Greg? In the world of Wi-Fi, your eyes. Your eyes are also connected to Wi-Fi. I'm looking at the light. Light is entering my eyes. We're just on the forefront, dude. We were on the forefront, the very beginning. This is like telephone calls in the 1960s, dude, compared to today. People don't even know. How do your brain is an electromagnetic computer. Who says you can't dial into that? Probably the DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research, whatever that is in the States, they probably already know how to do this. Down in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, they're probably experimenting with deploying Wi-Fi as a way to connect to people. I mean, this is really, there's a don't be evil in this for sure, man. Don't kid yourself. And I don't think the connected lighting, when the person under the light is the product, that's when connected lighting makes sense.
There you go.
Thank you for listening to the Lighthead online video show, where we discuss all things lighting, from light bulbs all the way up to the Matrix and everything in between. Thank you for listening. We thank our sponsor, Keystone Technologies. Go to KEYSTONETECH.com. The Retrofit Kings, light made easy, the kings of retrofit. KeystoneTech.com.